the next phase, to find it, is calling out my custom-made program. The file sample rate generator is what I call it. And I need, for this, a string copy here, or stir copies, or stir copies, I sometimes say. This is what I changed to the name of the song, as I marked by the comment here. Change the name of the song. In this case, Winter Zone Remix version 1. I leave out the such and such bass modifier. Use 1 if the true speed is 50,000, which is, in my case it is, and 2 if it is 100,000, which is my other one I use. That I leave alone. Now, loop changeover 16K. That is the loop position at which the change to the 16K version starts for optimization. This is the first file to use the 16K. The frequency is 3600. So, now that I know true speed cuts off about 3000, and 3600 is 6/5 of that, true speed means I need to take 6/5 of 50,000, which in this case gives 60,000. So for that, I'll go up to my little chart I made here. This is the sample rates based on the 50,000 only, and of course the inputs I use here. For 60,000, I put 10. 19, not right. For this one, that is rarely used. That is for when 5700 is used. That goes way up. And in this case, 57 based on 30 is slightly less than double. So in that case, I would have to start about here. The 90,000 for 180%, but it's actually slightly more than that. So, in this case, 28. Usually, sometimes I just leave this one out, especially if I rarely listen to it. And in this particular song, I rarely go beyond this. So, I go beyond the outer range. So I just pick some random number. Loop start. Now that is the point at which the sample rate sounded best at the slower speed. And of course, in this case, you remember the 35% true speed, right? And how slow that was. I put -50 here. Okay. Loop end. It's the point at which the sound, that's the upper end. So the processing will stop at that point. And of course, since it was double speed, this, I put 32 in here. Now of course I set that. This function call is used for finding the first sample rate right away. Int main, of course, in C programming, that's what it's supposed to be. Return 0. Settings, that's this function here. See? Void settings. Don't need to really return anything. And of course, create output files. What this does is it all this program really does is simply reads an input file, which of course I have the high quality and the low quality ones, and very rarely the ultra high quality ones. But of course that's basically the same. All it does is it changes bytes 0x18 through 0x1f. That seems technical, but that's the sample rate in bytes per second area of the WAV file header, which is what I only work with. And of course a loop, a little bit of math, a little bit of basic math, little output strings, %s, because I want to add a string in there. sprintf, right to a string. File handles, so I can work with files. Read binary mode, if file cannot be found. Or file is found, actually. Does not equal 0 basically means null or absent. Points to nothing, anyway. And this is where the 16K base type stuff comes in. Here's the 12K. Yeah, I'm reading a little bit here. And of course this is where all the writing output goes, and complex if statement based on settings. Of course I could kind of simplify that a little bit. And this part at the end is where I write all these outputs. Finished. Practically never see that because it's so quick. Here's the read source file. And this program really doesn't have anything complex. So, once I get done processing the program, this is the list of all the speeds anyway. Remember the positive 10, the 60K? See, this is where it's just a simplified list. You might remember the negative 50 and that. Math, yeah. It's just a lot of patterns, though. That's for the 24-step system. And the 48-step system isn't really all that much different. Currently I use a 35-step system. I call it 35, but, and of course all the various variables I use. If only I knew how to dynamically change the size of an array. Yeah, big. Big enough to count what I need. But with 1.5 gigabytes of memory, I ain't concerned. And once I get done, I save it, and I let it run.